Dear students, I welcome you all to today's class. Today we are going to study about metals and non-metals. In the previous class, you have studied about elements. Many types of elements we studied in the previous class. All those elements belong to either metals or non-metals. Okay. So, in this class, we will be studying about metals, their characteristics of metals and their uses. What are metals? Do you know about metals? Have you seen any metals in your life? Yes, a lot of metals we are using in our day-to-day life. Is it not? Gold, silver, aluminium, iron, all these things are metals. See, I told you elements, that is the elements we studied in the previous class, are classified into metals and non-metals. But one more category is there, metalloids, that is elements which neither have the characteristics of metals nor the characteristics of non-metals are called metalloids. Okay. Metals have certain characteristics, non-metals possess certain characteristics. These metalloids do not belong to any of these characteristics, do not possess any of these characteristics, and they are called as metalloids or semiconductors. See, these are all metals, you know, gold, silver, platinum, all the things, then iron, nail, all these things are metals, okay. And non-metals are, see, sulfur, bromine, carbon, oxygen, nitrogen. So, what do you infer from this? Sulfur is in powder form, that is a non-metal. Bromine, which is in liquid form, is a non-metal. Carbon, which is in solid form, is also a non-metal. And oxygen, which is in gaseous form, nitrogen, hydrogen, all these things in gaseous form, they are all non-metals. So, you can identify something from this. Metals will be solids and non-metals will be solid or liquid or gas. See, these are semiconductors, that is metalloids. We are making use of these metalloids in integrated chips. This thing you all might have seen. This is, without this, our present day world will not be there, because everything, your phone, cell phone, your computer, everything has a microchip in that. That chip is made by using these metalloids or semiconductors. Now let us study about the physical properties of metals. I told you metals are solid, is it not? But there is a condition that under normal conditions of temperature and pressure, metals can be in liquid form at a temperature at which it melts, or above the temperature at which it melts. Even the metals can be in gaseous form. Even you know the sun has a lot of metals in it, all those in gaseous form. So, at normal conditions of temperature and pressure, metals are in a state of solid. Okay, and there is one exception, that yes, mercury. Mercury is a metal in liquid form. Most metals are hard. You know, these metals we are using in our day-to-day life. You might have touched it. All the metals are, most metals are hard. All metals are shiny. That is why we are making use of metals in making ornaments and so on. See, they are having metals, this shining characteristics of metal is called as metallic luster. Okay, shining characteristics is called metallic luster. Metals have high density. You know, If you put this iron nail into water, what will happen? It will sink into water. That is, it has density more than that of water, and even much more density than water. Metals have high melting point and boiling point. What do you mean by melting point? The temperature at which a solid is converted into liquid is called melting point. Okay. The temperature at which a solid is converted into liquid is called melting point, and above the melting point the metal or solid will not be in solid form, it will be in the liquid form. See, chromium, which is a metal, at a temperature of about 2200 degrees Celsius, it will be converted into liquid. Like that, iron, cobalt, sodium, magnesium. So, sodium, the temperature is given in Kelvin. Now, metals can be hammered into very thin sheet. That is, the metals can be made into very thin sheet by hammering. By using a hammer, we can make metals into very thin sheet. This tendency of metals is called malleability. Okay, so what is malleability? The ability of metals to be converted into thin sheets is called malleability. Okay, using this property, aluminium is transferred into silvery foils. You know aluminium foils? Yes, it will be used in the medicine covers. Aluminium foils will be there, and nowadays aluminium foils are used for packing food, etc. So that will be very thin sheet of aluminium that we can even tear it off, is it not? That is the ability of the metals. Gold ornaments are made by using this property of metal. Then metals can be drawn into thin wires. This property is called ductility. So what is ductility? The ability of metals to be drawn into thin wires is called ductility. Okay. See, this is copper wire. These wires are used in what? Yes, electrical transmissions and in making gold ornaments and silver ornaments also, this property, that is ductility of the metals, is used. Now, metals are good conductors of heat and electricity. With metal wire only we are making all the electrical connections, and that is the electrical conductivity of metals. That uses the electrical conductivity of metals. And vessels we are using in cooking, all those are made of metals. That uses the heat conductivity of metals. On being hit, metals produce a typical sound. You all may be knowing this. While if a vessel falls down from your hand, it will make a noise like that. See this tumbler, when you struck a tumbler with a rod, what will happen? It will produce sound, and this property of metal is called sonorous. Okay, the ability of metals to produce sound while hitting something is called sonorous. So, with these properties, because of these properties, we are using metals in different places. Okay, iron is used for making bridges, engine parts, iron sheets and bars. Iron possesses good elastic property, and that is why it is used in construction of bridges, engine parts, iron sheets and iron bars are also made use of iron Copper is used for making electrical wires, coins and a statue. Okay. So, this uses the malleable and ductile properties of what? Metals. See, silver and gold are used for making jewels and for decorative purposes and photography. Then, so mercury is used in thermometers and barometers. I told you mercury is the only solid in liquid form, and because of its high density and uniform expansion at different temperature, it is used in thermometers and barometers. Thermometers are instruments used to measure temperature, and barometers are instruments used to measure pressure. These instruments you can see in hospitals and your laboratories. Aluminium is used in electrical wires, cables and in aerospace industries. Because of its light weight, it is used in aerospace industries, that is in the making of aeroplane. Okay, and it can be drawn in the form of wires, cables, vessels are made use of aluminium and so on. Lead is used in automobile batteries, X-ray machines. You know, lead acid accumulator will be the battery used in automobiles. Non-metals, this sulfur, carbon, bromine, oxygen, nitrogen, hydrogen, all these things are non-metals. Now let us see the properties of these non-metals. Non-metals, as I told you already, it can be in the form of solids, liquids or gases at normal temperature. For example, sulfur and phosphorus occur in solid state while bromine occurs in liquid state. Likewise, elements like hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, etc. occur in gaseous states. Non-metals are generally not hard except diamond. You know, diamond is the hardest element, is it not? Diamond is a form of carbon, and except carbon, almost all the non-metals are soft, that is not hard. Non-metals have a dull appearance. We studied metals are having shiny appearance, but non-metals have dull appearance. Likewise, non-metals are generally soft and have low density. We studied metals are hard and have high densities. Non-metals are soft and have low densities. The exception here is diamond. For this also exception is diamond. This is also exception is diamond, which is the hardest naturally occurring substance. Non-metals have low melting point and boiling point. We studied metals have high melting point and boiling point. Non-metals have low melting and boiling points. Non-metals are non-malleable. We cannot make them into thin sheets. They are not ductile. That is, we cannot make them into wires. But carbon fiber is a nanotube. Carbon in its nano form. What is nanotube? You can study about this in your higher classes. You can even clarify this with me. Non-metals are generally bad conductors of electricity. You know, metals are good conductors of electricity, but graphite is a good conductor of electricity. Do you know what is graphite? Yes, you have a pencil with you. If you have a pencil with you, you can take it, and the tip of the pencil is made of the central portion of the pencil is made of graphite. That can be a good conductor of electricity. Almost all the other non-metals are bad conductors of electricity. Non-metals do not produce sound when hit, so they are non-sonorous. Okay. Metals produce sound, non-metals do not produce sound. That is just the opposite of Almost all the properties of non-metals are just opposite to that of metals. Now, these non-metals also have their own uses in our day-to-day life. Diamond, which is a form of carbon, is used for making jewels, cutting and grinding equipment. So, for cutting glasses, knives with the diamond edge will be used. Graphite is used in making pencil. Okay. And sulfur is used in the manufacturing of gunpowder and vulcanization of rubber. Phosphorus is used to make matchboxes, rat poison, etc. Nitrogen is used for the manufacturing of ammonia. Apart from this, all these have a little portion of their applications in our body also. Chlorine is used as a bleaching agent and in sterilizing water. Hydrogen is used as a rocket fuel and hydrogen flame is used for cutting and welding purposes. Hydrogen is also used as a reducing agent. With this, I am concluding today's class. We can meet in the next class. Till then, bye-bye.